Welcome to The Leverage Show. Get more from your business and your life. Be sure to share your business questions and challenges with me at leverageshow.com, and I'll answer them on future episodes. Okay, so as entrepreneurs, we always have too much to do and not enough time to get it done. It's just part of the deal. I mean, hey, no one said conquering the world would be quick or easy, right? So how do we manage to do it all? How do we get everything done without having to work 100 hours a week and then still feel like we have more to do? Well, conventional wisdom is to go get some time management tools or courses and find out how we can squeeze more into our day. Because, time management is sort of that catch-all where anytime you feel overwhelmed or you feel like there's just too much going on and too much to do, there's got to be a way to manage your time better. But the truth is, it isn't really time management that we need at all. What we really need to worry about is self-management. We all have the same exact amount of time. You can't make more time in your day. We all have the same 24 hours. So it's not so much time management as it is self-management. It's what we do with the time that we've got. We have a conscious choice. We have decisions to make about the way that we choose to use our time. And, the sad reality of it is a lot of times we spend time on things that are less important and things that really don't need our time and attention to focus on. And so we need to make sure that we're focused on high-level, value-adding activities for our business as often as possible. And that means deciding what not to do is just as important as deciding what to do. This is a really important distinction. There's always a focus on, okay, I've got my to-do list. How do I now get everything in on this list, and how do I get all that stuff done? And what ends up happening is there's a lot of low impact but really simple activities. So we're like, all right, the more check boxes that we can get down on our list, the better. So let's hammer out these 10 things. And we waste an hour doing things that ultimately really are not that important. It makes us feel like we're accomplishing something. But if those aren't high-level, value-added things and activities, then we're kind of wasting our time. So I want to share with you a couple of ways to make that happen, because you'll notice a complete transformation in your business, in your results, even in the way that you feel about yourself when you start valuing your time more than just doing the sort of whatever needs to be done approach. So the first thing is to ultimately determine for your business and to define what those high leverage activities are, and also what things in your business only you can do. There are going to be a lot of things that while you think you're the best at it, or while you may like to do it, or you feel like you need to do it, if you really push came to shove and you said, okay, you only have time for one thing to do today, choose, you'd be able to narrow it down and you'd be able to eliminate some of those other things that you thought you had to do. So let's talk about some examples of stuff like this. So things like building strategic partnerships. If you are trying to build partnerships, that may be something that if you have a large enough organization and you have a sales manager or a vice president of sales, you might be able to do that. But if you're a solopreneur or you're somebody with a small business, chances are you're sort of the chief cook and bottle washer. And so that's going to be left to you. If you're going to build any strategic partnerships, you are going to have to do that. That's a really high leverage activity because it can add massively to your bottom line. It can, build your exposure and your footprint in the market. There's a lot of benefits from that. Maybe making presentations. If you're selling some sort of digital good or some sort of information-based product where you rely on your reputation as an expert in order to get your message out, then doing presentations for organizations is critical. It takes a lot of time. You got to prepare it. You may have to fly out to whatever the venue is, and then you need to present it. And it may seem like I could get so many more things done, but if your reputation, if you're going to be going to be a public speaker, or you want to be an author, or you want to be a coach of some sort. Any of those kinds of things, your reputation and your exposure are your brand. They are your marketing. So there isn't anything more important than that. So maybe you need to do that. Do a book tour or do the circuit and, do talks at other places. Product planning. If you're going to design a new product line, you don't need to sit down and create every single design and wireframe or mock-up, but you need to conceptualize at least what those products are going to be and what the key components or key characteristics are going to be. So that way your footprint is on, it's going to impact your business and the way you grow and your brand and everything else. Any kind of branding activities, also. These are things that may not give you an instant return on investment. You may not notice revenue tomorrow from doing these activities, but they're hugely important. So it's whatever drives your business forward in a big way, right? It's anything that is going to take you from where you are to the next level. If you need to do sales presentations, maybe for smaller clients, you could have somebody else do it. But for those A-list clients, for those ones that are on your bucket list for your business, you've got to go firsthand and be there with the pitch team, or pitch it yourself or whatever. It's worth your time to do it, because what it means for your business to have the credibility, to have the increased sales, those are high leverage activities. But what do most people get stuck in on a day-to-day basis? Checking emails, answering relatively routine questions for staff or for customers, looking at social media accounts or making a post here and there, doing some maybe product fulfillment or answering a routine sales call. All things that absolutely can be done by somebody else. Fielding calls from vendors trying to sell you stuff. Complete waste of time. Somebody on your team should vet that first, and then if they think it's a good idea, bring it to you. You need to start prioritizing your time and your energy and your focus and make sure it's worth whatever you want it to be worth. So if you want to build $1 million business, no matter where you are right now, you need to figure that your time with 2,000 hours in an average work year is worth $500 an hour. So anything virtually that you can outsource or delegate for less than $500 an hour, you need to basically do it, or at least take steps toward doing it. So step 2, after you've determined and defined those highest leverage activities, is to book your day with these activities. This sounds, maybe a little bit like semantics, but it's really important you do this, because what happens is you have an awareness of it and you're thinking, okay, good, now I know what I need to do. But then you get in the office and the proverbial, what hits the fan, and you're in the trenches, you're running around here to there trying to get everything done, and you're interrupt driven instead of value driven. So literally book your day. If you're somebody who likes a schedule, book from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. today. I'm going to make, these 15 phone calls to these strategic partners and iron out these deals, or whatever it is. Book that time on your schedule and let everybody else know I'm booked. If you need me, I'll be available after 11. From 11 to 11:30, I'm available. Then at 11:30 to 1 o'clock, I'm on this next activity. So come up for air, give people access to you when needed. But the miraculous thing that will happen is people that needed you for every little decision will all of a sudden become independent, because they'll realize you're not accessible. So they're not just going to sit there at their desk. They're going to go and get work done anyway. So book your day with these activities and literally schedule them if you need to. And then the third thing is to delegate, scrap, or outsource everything else. Now, I recommend you do this as fast and as cold turkey as possible. But if you need to do this gradually because you're literally a one-person show, maybe you need to hire, an outsourcer or a freelancer, or, hire an employee or something. Totally understandable. You may not be able to give it all away today, but you need to be thinking about how you're going to move toward that and start doing it right away. The first thing is just scrap stuff. If it's unimportant, ultimately just scrap it. Don't even bother giving it to somebody else. Why waste their time too? But anything that has to get done, but that you don't necessarily need to have your handprint on it because it's a smaller impact than your other activities, those are things that you want to delegate. If you have a team, delegate those things. If you don't, then go hire some freelancers and have them do it. Get an admin assistant. A virtual admin can be the best investment you'll ever make. They can manage your email, manage your social media, do your postings, respond to, customer and, outside vendor inquiries, field calls for you. They can run interference. And then they can escalate to you only the vital stuff that you need to be aware of. And that is a huge time saver in and of itself. So instead of time management, flip the whole thing on its head, start to manage your own self, your own priorities and your activities, and schedule in those key things. Your business can only grow when you are focused on driving that bus. If you're in the back seat chit-chatting with other passengers, it's not going to happen. So forget trying to jam 30 hours of work into a 10-hour day with planners and time management activities and speed reading and all this other stuff. And instead, you're just going to work yourself to the bone. Instead, cut 25 hours of that less important stuff out completely and focus with everything you've got. 100% focus on that vital 5 hours. You'll work a lot less, but you'll work a lot more intensely. And what you'll find is instead of being overwhelmed by all the stuff sitting on your shoulder that you can't get to, that's crushing you under the weight of it, you'll feel liberated. You'll feel empowered. And you'll feel like the CEO, the entrepreneur, and the owner that you always wanted to be, because now you're actually working on those types of level of activities that successful companies and companies that grow really rapidly, that's what CEOs and entrepreneurs that are doing that stuff are able to focus on. So rearrange your focus, make sure you're putting it in the right place, and you'll find a complete transformation of yourself, your business, your self-esteem, and everything else around you. Now remember, if you have a question, share it with me so I can answer it on future episodes. And until next time, make it happen.